Hello, everybody, and welcome to the CX Live Dialogues. I'm delighted to have with us today Geraint Thomas, Senior Managing Director at Ankura, based in Abu Dhabi. Geraint has over 23 years of experience working with boards, management teams, companies, and stakeholders in turnaround, transformation, and restructuring solutions. Geraint is an experienced operating partner, investment director, board member, chief reconstruction officer, and also chief financial officer who collaborates with and leads organizations when goals need to be converted to action. Working across a range of industries, including aviation, healthcare, construction, manufacturing, and real estate, Geraint has held senior roles in the UK, Europe, and the Middle East, growing healthy businesses and restructuring stressed companies. Welcome, Geraint. It's such a pleasure to have you with us today.
Good morning. Very good to be here.
Likewise. Now, clearly, we are in the midst of a lot of economic upheaval all around the world. Why do you feel so many transformation and operational excellence programs fail?
That's a really great question, and the academic research in this area is really clear. When corporations launch transformations, roughly 70% of them fail, and the causes of the failures are usually pretty straightforward. For a transformation or operational excellence program to have any chance to succeed, you typically need three ingredients. Firstly, strong alignment between the board, the CEO, and the rest of the management team. Secondly, key capabilities need to be in place, at least from N-1 to N-3. And thirdly, and probably most importantly, the board and the CEO need to set really high aspiration for the program. And this needs to be cascaded down to the team about the importance of change. So there's a compelling change narrative, and that convinces people of the need to make the transformation operational excellence program actually happen. If any of these three ingredients are missing, it'll be extremely difficult for a transformation or operational excellence program to succeed. And all the efforts will ultimately deliver a suboptimal outcome. Strong alignment between the board, CEO, and the rest of the management team, as I said before, is absolutely critical. And disagreements from individuals or groups can really derail a transformation. And this disagreement can come in many forms. You know, the scope of the transformation and what does it include, what doesn't it include, the strategic direction of travel, and even a perceived need for a transformation or an operational excellence program at all. And in many cases, you can get bodies of individuals who, rebel against the program. And then that can cause disruption, which ultimately leads in the program failing. Ultimately, the board, CEO, management team need to be moving all in the same direction, and they mustn't be influenced by personal agendas or those specific stakeholder groups. On capability, typically, we don't see a lack of capability right across the board, but it's usually in a few areas. So it's essential early on to really identify who the stars of the organization are who can drive the program forward, and also where the weak links are. And once identified, look at tactics and how to address the problem areas. On messaging, if it's not done correctly, it can really dampen the results of the program and can affect the morale across the organization, which ultimately leads to a loss of talent. So during the early stages of a transformation operational excellence program, if the CEO doesn't build conviction within the team about the importance of the change program and craft a change narrative that convinces people that they really need to make the transformation happen, then individuals in the organization won't buy in, and they won't put in that extra energy needed to make the change happen. And maybe finally, companies often miss all sorts of the procedural elements that make a transformation thrive. They don't put in place the right change management infrastructure, or they don't establish the cadence of leadership oversight meetings. If they don't create a transformation office or set regular performance management discussions to track progress, then the Transformation Operational Excellence Program is really doomed to fail.
Certainly. Now, clearly, with a lot going on, what are the key success factors to ensure a transformation or operational excellence program will be successful?
Well, firstly, I guess you need to ensure the factors mentioned previously have been addressed. And assuming they're all covered, then it really turns to a matter of discipline and consistency over time. And ideally, a successful program would focus on three key things. So firstly, clearly defined initiatives. And that means each initiative would have a single owner, a clear target, and if required, investment budget, and clear milestones, timelines, and relevant KPIs to be tracked for each initiative. Secondly, a robust governance structure needs to be in place with clear reporting and tracking. And by that, I mean, clarity on all the key roles within the Operational Excellence Program. So whether you're a steerco member, initiative owner, or a workstream sponsor, you know exactly what your role is, and there's a clear escalation mechanism for any issues. And a clear meeting schedule, not meetings for meeting's sake, but clear meetings with clear agendas and for a purpose. Finally, reporting mechanisms and calculation methodologies all need to be agreed up front with a clear link to the finance function so that the CFO has signed off on all business cases and investments required. And this is all integrated into the business plan stroke budget of an organization. I guess finally, an operational excellence program needs to continue to focus on identifying additional opportunities and translate them into execution. Program really shouldn't be seen as a one-off, but a continuous way of working, of identifying opportunities and then executing them.
Certainly. Now, based on your own experience, what are the similarities and differences of running Middle East Transformation and Operational Excellence Program versus other geographies?
Great question. Well, it used to be that the adoption of technology and management practices in more developed markets was significantly ahead of the Middle East. And that would result in issues with accessing data and drawing conclusions in most programs across the Middle East region. However, I'd say over the past 10 years, the gap has been closing really fast. And in most cases, I shouldn't say most cases, in some cases, Middle East organizations are now leading the way in the adoption of technology that facilitates running operational excellence programs with real-time data and dashboards like in Tableau and other formats. Indeed, some of the top performers in the region are now using this as business as usual. One key difference between the Middle East and other regions is the way that the cultural aspect needs to be taken into account as part of a transformation. And that reflects society here in the Middle East. When running transformations in the US, UK, and Europe, you realize that most of the interactions are pretty transactional. While in the Middle East, it's almost mandatory now, and has been, to spend time forging those relationships with stakeholders. And these relationships need to go well beyond just a business transaction.
Now, what do you think will be the key themes underpinning transformation and operational excellence in the Middle East over the next 5 years?
I think as the Middle East really develops and the companies become more sophisticated, there are a couple of themes that come to mind that need to be addressed over the next few years in the region. Firstly, cost discipline comes to mind. Companies in the region are getting much smarter about how they spend their money. And we're seeing more and more companies looking to boost EBITDA in the long term by implementing much stronger cost discipline into their DNA when it comes to continuously identifying, reducing unnecessary cost. This is especially evident in their business planning and budgeting processes. Also, companies will need to redefine their operating model and organizational structures over the coming years, as these models that worked well for the last 5 or 10 years are now, for the most part, becoming obsolete. The adoption of AI and other technologies is going to shape the way companies operate and organize themselves over the coming years. And hence, transformation operational excellence programs will likely include operating model redesign and organizational change as a core component. Finally, as I mentioned, technology is and will increasingly become a key theme in all of the transformation programs. Companies in the region are cementing their basic technologies, so the ERP systems, the CRM systems, and as they become more solid, the adoption of cutting-edge technologies like AI are going to become much more effective in the region, and these are going to be used much more widely in driving transformation over the coming years.
You've already mentioned a few of them, but are there any particular technologies that you believe will be essential in future operational excellence programs?
Yeah, for sure. You can't underestimate the need for management to quickly see and understand granular data from across their organization in a clear and organized manner. And to date, that's one of the key challenges in virtually all transformation programs in the region. Technologies and systems that allow companies to access granular data in real time will certainly be the drivers of successful transformations of the future.
Thank you, Geraint. It's been a pleasure to have you join us today, and we look forward to meeting you and the Ankura team at the Operational Excellence Show in Dubai this month. Until then, take care.
Thank you very much.